This is a massive report. According to an NBA insider, the New York Knicks are facing a major obstacle in their pursuit of all-star guard for the Atlanta Hawks, Dejounte Murray. Because according to this insider, in order for this trade to happen, the Knicks president Leon Rose must have a meeting with his representation in Klutch Sports, Rich Paul. We're going to break down this and so much more today. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Leon Rose and Rich Paul need to have a meeting in order for the Dejounte Murray trade to occur. This is absolutely wild. I don't think I've ever read a report before that suggested that a representation of a player needs to meet with the president of a franchise to clear the air in order for a trade to happen. I don't think I have ever seen this in my entire life. But when you think about both parties involved, Leon Rose, his CAA ties, Rich Paul, Klutch Sports, and what they represent, and both of these guys and what they used to represent to each other and where they are today, which is more or less people who don't see eye to eye, aren't on the same page. And clearly, as we saw with the Zach LaVine situation, when clients may be linked to the Knicks, Klutch can come out and say, I'm his camp, I'm his representation, and even though I hear these rumblings, I still don't want my client. And I've heard also that my client does not magically want to play in one of the best cities in the world, New York City. There is an issue here that has to do with Rich Paul and Leon Rose, and that has been clear. Honestly, all of this probably stems back to the Cam Reddish deal and how Cam Reddish was treated. And because of all of that, this probably leads to where we are right now with the New York Knicks and Rich Paul. But according to Ian Begley, if the Murray trade is going to happen for the New York Knicks, they need to swallow their pride a little bit and have a meeting with Rich Paul in order to move things forward. Because if that doesn't happen, we may have this standstill for the next few seasons. Here's what Ian Begley had to say about the situation. According to Ian Begley, would the Hawks move Murray a little more than 18 months after acquiring him? Teams say that Atlanta has been receptive to trade offers this season, the first full year for head coach Quinn Snyder. Hoops Hype earlier reported that the Knicks are among the teams who expressed exploratory trade interest in Murray. But moving Murray would be a seismic shift, and it would surely require several first-round picks and young ascending players. Ian Begley continues by stating the following: whatever the reasons are, there is a potential path forward for both the Knicks and Klutch. I'm told that Klutch would consider changing its current stance if there is an in-person meeting between Paul and the Knicks, presumably including Rose and Worldwide Wes. Until and unless the two sides meet in person, the Klutch-Knicks Cold War will remain in place. If you're a Knicks fan, you may be wondering if this matters for your favorite franchise, according to Ian Begley. Paul and Klutch represent several of the NBA's top players. They have a deep roster of talent. Could the Knicks build a contender without Klutch clients? Sure, it's possible. But according to Ian Begley, if you look at it objectively, the Knicks not having access to one of the top agencies in the NBA isn't ideal. It takes talented players the Knicks covet, such as Murray, off the board. Shout out to Ian Begley for giving us this massive update on the New York Knicks and their pursuit of Dejounte Murray. Because obviously we already know the Knicks are interested. They've been interested. They've wanted Murray since he was a Spur. He became a Hawk and they let it go. And now his name is coming up again in trade talks. And as you already heard just now from Ian Begley, there are sources from the Atlanta Hawks side that suggest that they are open to moving Murray in the right deal and the right package. And according to Begley, that might have to take several first-round picks and a couple of young ascending players. So the Knicks, if they want Murray, are going to have to be ready to deal and give Atlanta exactly what they want to quote-unquote get the ideal fit with Jalen Brunson in their backcourt. But they're going to have to make moves in order to do that. But before we even can get to a trade, as Ian Begley just revealed, the Knicks president Leon Rose and Rich Paul need to have a meeting to clear the air for whatever lingering issues are there in order for a trade to happen for any Klutch client, whether that be Murray, whether that be Levine, whoever Klutch represents. If the Knicks want that type of player, they're going to either need to hope for two things. One, that player leaves and goes to CAA, goes the same direction in terms of OG Anunoby, or Klutch and the New York Knicks repair whatever relationship issues that they have, and they start doing business again and have talent go to the New York Knicks again. Because like Ian Begley stated, can you build a contender without Klutch clients? Yes. Should you have to do that? Should the Knicks have to be put through this? In my opinion, no. Leon Rose, Worldwide West, Knicks organization as a whole. We need to get it together. We need to repair any issues we have, especially issues that may prevent us from getting talent from one of the top NBA agencies in the league. We have to suck up our pride, swallow it, and make sure we have this meeting as soon as possible so that way we can make sure it gets repaired and we can get Murray on this roster. This is an obstacle, folks. Rich Paul, Klutch Sports, they are presenting an obstacle right now for the New York Knicks. We all know Murray and Brunson in the backcourt is lethal. Murray is one of the best fits for Brunson in the backcourt because of his size and because of the way he plays. The Knicks need Murray. I want Murray on this team. The only way that happens now, the only way this Cold War ends, according to Ian Begley, is for Leon Rose and Rich Paul to meet and clear the air. Now, if you're going to ask me what the chances are that those two meet and clear the air, I'm probably going to give it about a 5% chance. And the only reason I gave it a 5% chance is because I think there had to be a reason that this particular story came out at this time. It didn't come out when the Knicks were trying to get Zach LaVine, because potentially Zach LaVine, even though he's a Klutch client, likely didn't want to be a New York Knick. But Murray may want to be a New York Knick. This message is going to have to get out there where Klutch is open to repairing the relationship if both sides are willing to sit down, come to an agreement, and clear the air. Now, this is the thing. I've watched this game for a long time, followed it for a long time. I can't remember the last time I've seen an agent have so much influence and power to the point where their particular client cannot even go to a team because the issues you have with that team, its GM, its president, or its owner, may be causing you to prevent your own talent from going there. We have to remember, we cannot have issues like this when you're the New York Knicks. You already have issues being the destination that you are because there's a lot of pressure putting on a New York Knicks jersey and trying to win in New York. That's already an issue. You don't want to make it harder on yourself by dissuading talent. You want to make sure that when they get here, they come here, they know that they're about this city, they're about New York, and they're coming here to add, to build. We cannot shut down conversation with an agency that is repping so many of the top tier talent, mind you, that the New York Knicks have expressed interest in that they want. The way to Murray is this meeting. And mind you, by the way, Ian Begley actually continued and reported that actually, if Murray wanted to be a New York Knick right now, if he was pushing hard for it, then Rich Paul would absolutely make the deal done. Look at what Ian Begley said here. According to Begley, now if Murray wanted specifically to play for the Knicks, Paul would facilitate the move to New York. That applies to any Klutch client. But outside of that dynamic, Paul is reluctant to deal with the Knicks. While that is good to know, another way to read that is Paul will likely never recommend the Knicks to one of his clients. But if a particular scenario happened, this specific scenario where one of his clients said, hey, listen, I know how you feel about New York. I get all the issues over there, but I love that city. I love that team, and I want to be a Knick. He would facilitate the trade. He would make it happen for his client because he's not going to say no to his client. But if a recommendation is asked, if his client says, hey, listen, I want to play for a great team, a contending team, what team do you think would use me particularly well right now? He wouldn't recommend the Knicks. He would recommend other teams besides the Knicks because of the issues that we have. That's why it needs to be repaired. I get it. Some of you guys may be thinking, why do we have to bend to the knee to Rich Paul? He is an agent. Why do we have to do that with him? Why can't it just be the talent that we have to deal with and it has to be them that dictates where they want to go? Because honestly, to answer that question, in this day and age, your talent is repped by an agent like Rich Paul. If your talent is repped by Rich Paul, then you're getting more than an agent. You're also getting an advocate. And once you get both of those things in an agent, it's hard to say what the agent can and can't do and where his role needs to be within negotiations, especially when he becomes a more or less your advocate as well as your agent. Because an advocate wants to get you the best type of deal, but also wants to make sure you're in a position and in a situation where you can thrive. And if the person making that decision does not believe the New York Knicks is ever going to be that destination, will a recommendation ever happen? I don't think so. Ian Begley also reported that the Knicks' interest in Murray for now is a moot point, and it will remain moot for the foreseeable future until potentially a meeting with Leon Rose and Rich Paul occurs. He continues by stating, the Knicks can put that kind of package together to get Murray or really any Klutch client if they want to. But for the New York Knicks, this additional hurdle of Rich Paul and his relationship with Leon Rose is absolutely going to cause an obstacle. And Ian Begley notes that that dynamic in terms of their relationship, Paul and Rose, is still present today. And I'm told that Paul remains reluctant to do business with the Knicks, who are led by team president Leon Rose and executive vice president William Wesley. Rose and Wesley, again, were both top agents at CAA before they took over the Knicks. The Knicks have all of the necessary pieces and assets needed to get a Dejounte Murray deal done with the Atlanta Hawks. But the only issue, again, that remains on the table is Leon Rose and his relationship with Rich Paul. This has to be ended. It has to stop. We have to move forward. We need access to one of the top tier agencies that hold the top tier talent in the entire NBA, and that's Klutch Sports. The only way to get it is for the Knicks to repair this relationship. It takes one call. It's one day. Suck up your pride and get it done. You want Murray? You want your ideal trade target? You want to pair him in the backcourt with Jalen Brunson? Pick up the phone, make the call, have the meeting, fix this relationship. Let's move forward, get that Murray trade done, and continue building this Knicks roster out and into an actual contender in the East. Leon, it's on you. But what about you guys? What do you think about the issues between Leon Rose and Klutch Sports and the fact that it's causing a major obstacle in the New York Knicks' pursuit in terms of trading for Dejounte Murray? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.